students of the keyboard, the piano, the beginners and the intermediate students, those of you who are trying to learn on your own, welcome to my keyboard chords explorations part 3. Today we're going to try to build some major triads on the keyboard using the major scale as our source. The major scale, we're going to use the C major scale, but we're going to use numbers instead of letters of the scale, because when you use numbers to play your scales, you can use those numbers on all the major scale, on all the scales, because all the scales they may have different names, but they have the numbers remain the same: 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So it is easier for you to use numbers as opposed to letters when you play the scale, especially when you're trying to make chords from the scale. A major triad is composed of 3 notes. The first note of the major scale, in the case of C major scale, that's the C. The third note of the major scale, here in the C major scale, that's the E, and the fifth note of the major scale, which is G. So if I tell you to play in the key of C major, if I tell you to play note number 5, you're going to look for note number 5, which is G. If I tell you to play note number 3, you're going to play E. If I tell you to play note number 1, you're going to play C. Then if I tell you to play C major or C major triad, you're going to play 1, 3, and 5 together. Alright? Like this. Okay? Okay? And it is the same concept. It is the same procedure for all the major scales. So my advice to you, when you practice chord building on the keyboard, and you're practicing your triads, you need to try to do it on chromatically. That means on all the 12 notes in the chromatic scale. For example, I'm going to play the C chromatic scale. When you play a chromatic scale, that means you play only half. You only play half steps all the way to the octave. You start with C, and then you move up in half steps until you get to the C octave. Not whole step, half step. That's the chromatic scale. The C chromatic scale. Now, when you practice your triad, you try to play the triad on every note in the C chromatic scale. Okay, so that will give you more knowledge of that way you will know the triad, that triad, the C, the you will know the C triad. You'll be able to transpose the C triad, the C major chord to the other chords, to the other scales. Okay, you will be. Let me say that again. You will be able to transpose the C major triad or the C major chord to all the other major keys. Okay, so let's play one. Let's play C major. 1 3 5. 1 3 5. That means C E G. That's the chord. That's the C triad. C major triad, or C major. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to C sharp because we're practicing chromatically. Let's move to C sharp. To move to C sharp, you play natural C, and C sharp is the next note closest to this, to C. Okay, which is the black note C sharp. So C sharp. Now it's the same thing. Now you can, it would be, if you can play the scale, the C sharp scale, try to play it. Okay, and I will explain to you how to play those major scales very, how to play them very nicely, and in a way that is very, also very easy. So now let's concentrate on the triad. C sharp major triad. Still, it's the same thing. 1 5 3 and 5. Okay. Okay. 1 3 5, and then together that was C major triad. Now let's move half step up because we're playing chromatically, so you can play the triad in all those, in all the keys, in all the major keys chromatically. So now we move to one step up. That will be D. Okay, so the same procedure. 1 5 3. 1 5 3. That's a D major triad. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to D sharp, which is also E flat. Same thing. Note number 1 is D sharp. Okay, so it's going to be 1 3 5. Same thing. Okay. This is D sharp major triad. Okay. Or E flat major triad. Now let's move to E. Chromatically we're moving. E, note number 1, E. Note number 3 is going to be G sharp. And then note number 5 is going to be B. That's E major triad. Okay, E major chord, or E major triad. Okay, now let's play F. That's half step. We move we move up half step, F major, note number 1 F, no, in it, note number 1 in F major is F, note number 3 in F major is A, and note number 5 is C. So we play F, A, C. Okay. Okay. Right. Now let's move to F sharp, which is also G flat. Now note number 1 is F sharp. Note number 3 is gonna be A sharp, which is also B flat, and then note number 5 is gonna be D. Is gonna be the D sharp, which is also E flat. So this is F sharp. 1, 3, 5. Oh, sorry. 1, 3. Okay, 1, 3, 5. Okay, I think I made a mistake earlier. Okay, so it's gonna be F sharp. It's gonna be C1, F sharp, 3, A sharp, and then 5 is gonna be C sharp. Okay, that's the correct form. Okay, F sharp, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. This is the chord, and you can play it anywhere you want. That's F sharp. Now F sharp. Now let's move to G. G, number 1 note is G. Number 3 is gonna be B, and number 5 is gonna be D. So we play them together. G major triad, G major chord. Okay. All right. Now let's play G sharp. Also, G sharp is also A flat. Okay, G sharp. So note number one is going to be G sharp. Note number 2, okay, 1, and we're going to be number 3 and number 5. Okay, right there. That's a G sharp major triad, or A flat major triad. Okay. Alright. There you go. That's it. Okay. That was G sharp. Now let's move chromatically. Keep moving chromatically. Now let's play A. Okay. So A is now in the A major scale. A is number 1 note, and then number 3 note will be C sharp, and number 5 note will be E. Okay, that's A major triad. So it's gonna be A major triad. Okay. Number 1, note number 1, note number 3, and note number 5 within the scale to play the triad. Okay. So we just played A major triad. Okay. Now what is next? With A, let's play A sharp now. A sharp, which is also E flat. So it's gonna be it's gonna be E flat major scale. So note number 1 in E flat major scale is E flat. Note number 3 is D. Note number 5 is F. Okay, that's E, B flat, A sharp. But that type, this kind of chord, I like to name to name this. I like to name this type of chords in flat instead of sharp. So I'm gonna call that E flat, B flat. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, and then you got your chord. E flat or A sharp. Now we move to B, which is the seventh note. The seventh note in the key or in the major scale, in the C major scale, which is B. Now if you play the B scale, the B major scale, so your first note is B. Your remember it's 1, 3, 5. So note number three will be D sharp, and note number 5 will be F sharp. That'll give you your B major triad or B major chord. Okay, there you go. So I can play, can play over here. Okay. And then now you come back to where you started anyway, to where you started in the first place.